Okay, so we have a few questions, and so I will start with one here. How do you find ways to make the stories of the Quran relate to your life? I mean, you touched on this, Dr. Hamid, a little bit when you're in your talk. Can you just elaborate a little bit more for the question regarding the stories in the Quran and how it relates to one's life?
The stories relate
To your life.
to. Okay.
How do you find ways to make your stories of the Quran?
Yeah. Okay. One of the. Yeah. How does the story relate to me? That's a very good question. Let me give you an example so that you can really benefit a lot. I have Surah Al-Saffat. There are several stories there. Saffat means, I want to understand Surah Al-Saffat. I have no idea what Surah Al-Saffat is about. I learn what the word Al-Saffat means. وَجَاءَ رَبُّكَ وَالْمَلَكُ صَفًّا صَفًّا. So Saffat means standing in line, meaning the angels, referring to the angels standing in line. What are they doing standing in line? Ready to carry out the order of Allah with no question asked. Imagine yourself now like an angel, taking that stand. Oh Allah, I'm ready to do anything you ask me, no question asked. Who did this among the prophets? Ismail alayhi salam. That's good, mashallah. It's only that stand of Ismail saying, قَالَ يَا أَبَتِ افْعَلْ مَا تُؤْمَرُ سَتَجِدُنِي إِنْ شَاءَ اللَّهُ مِنَ الصَّابِرِينَ. Oh my daddy, do whatever you ordered. You will find me patient. Only in one place in the Quran. Where? In Al-Saffat. Why? Because it's relevant to the stand of the angels who are ready to do anything with no question asked. So how does this relate to me now? I want to be like Al-Saffat. I want to carry out the orders of Allah with no question asked. That's the Iman. That's Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu. He says, did he say it? They tell him, your friend Muhammad ﷺ says that he went from Mecca to Al-Masjid al-Haram to Al-Masjid al-Aqsa and came back in the same night. He says, did he say it? They say, yes. Then I believe it. That's the stand of As-Saffat. That's what I learn and how I relate. So that, the story of Ibrahim and Ismail, and that's the meaning of Islam. And that's why Allah says, فَلَمَّا أَسْلَمَا وَتَلَّهُ لِلْجَبِينِ وَنَادَيْنَاهُ أَن يَا إِبْرَاهِيمُ قَدْ صَدَّقْتَ الرُّؤْيَا. So when Allah said, فَلَمَّا أَسْلَمَا, when they submitted, when they declared Islam, means when they totally gave their will to the will of Allah and said, we're ready to carry out the order with no question asked, Allah sent the sacrifice. That is very relevant to me. I want all my children to be like As-Saffat, to be like Ibrahim, like Ismail in their stand. That's just an example to illustrate how we relate the stories to us.
There's a question, I think it's important because there's a lot of different Quran translations out there. Do you have a recommendation for an English translated Quran, or do you prefer watching the tafsir English version videos?
Very good. You want to answer this?
There's maybe a lot of information out there that maybe bad sources.
Let me just mention one source that I use, and Sheikh Ahmed can add to that. One good source that I use, I found it good. Of course, Abdullah Yusuf Ali is good. I found Sheikh Ahmed Zaki Hamad, who was the president of the Islamic Society of North America, ISNA, was the president here in the 90s, okay? And he's a graduate of Al-Azhar, and he's the dean of one of the colleges of Al-Azhar there. He spent about 10 years, he's very knowledgeable about the USA, lived here, spent a long time here working with Muslims. He finished his interpretation of the Quran, or the translation of the Quran, okay? And please, use it. He uses Ibn Kathir, uses his sense of Arabic very well educated in the Arabic language, very well educated in Sharia. He uses authentic tafsir Ibn Kathir to produce to us, he produced to us his tafsir. So go Google Ahmed Zaki Hamad and use it, and I guarantee you, you will like it, inshallah.
I think we can add to this. By the way, Dr. Ahmed Zaki Hamad was my professor in
Good. Alhamdulillah.
Al-Azhar. نعم.
Yeah.
There is a new translation also, the Clear Quran by Mustafa Khattab. He's also one of the students of Ahmed Zaki Hamad. So the Clear Quran by Mustafa Khattab, very, very easy translation, and I like it. And Ahmed Zaki Hamad also is a great translation.
And for the Juz Amma, you can use the parts that I use translation, and I was very careful to translate the lam, the tawqid, the this. You can also use it. I used others, but I added to add the emphasis and the linguistics and so on.
The next question is about what is the best program or book for people who want to learn how to read the Quran? Also, how to understand the Quran, because there are a lot of, this is similar to the previous question, but maybe the Quran, making sure that
Yeah, I think one of the things that maybe would be very helpful to you is to start with the tapes that I have. And then one of the, if you have Dhilalul Quran, I would strongly recommend it because it's very relevant to the life that we live. Also, connects it with the seerah. This is one of the most important advantages, is you connect it with the seerah, and that's what Sayyid Qutb did. So you really use a combination of two tafsir. Tafsir Ibn Kathir with Dhilal al-Quran, you will be in a good shape. Of course, there are lots of other tafsir. Personally, I use Tafsir al-Alusi, is very helpful to me. But it's kind of a lot of details in it. But these two sources would be very helpful to you, inshallah. Sheikh Ahmed, you want to add? Okay.
So there's quite a few questions regarding Arabic, learning Arabic, to better understand the Quran. And there's maybe a debate about, there's a huge number of students now memorizing the Quran. But maybe not necessarily, maybe your program you're teaching the Arabic, but some programs are just pure programs. So how important is it to learn Arabic? Even if some of them are maybe even adults who might not know Arabic and to relate to the Quran.
When it comes to learning Arabic, this is extremely important, but the purpose, I think, of our discussion was benefiting from the Quran beyond knowing Arabic, because Arabic is not available for everybody. We do not expect you to be a scholar to understand the Quran and make the Quran relate to you. That is a big, rich, deep field that you may spend all of your life doing. Again, in my talk, I focused on things that everyone can do. You do not need to study Arabic to make the Quran a light for you. But of course, no one can belittle the importance of Arabic, the nuances of the words and the messages communicated. But I would have a program for those who do not know Arabic that they can read the Quran with. First, as I said, prepare your heart. This is number one. Again, we're talking about someone who does not know Arabic or does not know Adiyat or anything. Prepare your heart. 2, recognize the glory of the speaker. 3, read slowly. 4, read personally. The ayat are addressing you. 5, repeat the ayat that touches your heart in your prayers. 6, have your Quran journal ready and write down these verses that would relate to you. We do not expect you to be a scholar. Let me apply this with just one ayah. The end of Surah Al-Qasas. So chapter number 28, the last verse 88. Actually a part of it. And it says, كُلُّ شَيْءٍ هَالِكٌ إِلَّا وَجْهَهُ. Everything will perish except his face. Doesn't it communicate a great message that could transform your heart? You do not need Arabic to get to this, to benefit from this. Again, let me apply these things that we're talking about, the 6 steps I mentioned. So everything will perish except his faith. You know what this actually means? If I read it slowly and let the meaning set in my brain, it would eventually mean that everything is going to perish, to die. So everything is eventually non-existing. Spend 30 minutes repeating this. You don't have to read one complete surah. One verse could be enough to make the Quran change your life. Everything will perish except his face. I keep repeating it till that meaning is set in my heart. Everything will eventually be non-existing. The question that you ask yourself now is, why do I allow myself to be distracted by the non-existing from the eternal? What is keeping you from Allah is non-existing. It's something that doesn't exist because it will eventually perish. These desires keeping you away from Allah do not exist. The haram that you're seeking does not exist. The whole dunya will come at a point when it becomes nothing. Why do you allow that nothing to distract you from Allah? That could transform your life. Read it slowly. Read it slowly and give it time till that meaning is really set in your brain. Repeat it in your salah. I can pray with this part in my salah. You don't have to keep saying Qul huwa Allahu ahad all of your years. Study a new ayah. It could be one line in the middle of a surah. Use it in your journal. Use it in your salah, and this is how it would relate to you. Studying Arabic is a big field. We can give so many examples of how knowing Arabic could really change the way you approach the Quran. But the level of this, the level of, you do not let your non-mastery of Arabic distract you from benefiting the Quran. Wallahu a'lam.
Yeah. And quickly, you may also take courses. I offer courses myself I work with 2 universities, Guidance College. I'm the academic dean for the college. And we offer, next spring, I'm giving a course in Arabic and Quranic Arabic as well. So you're most welcome to register in this course with also Manara University, and you will see they're both in the bazaar here. You can sign in and take an Arabic online Arabic course as well. Will be helpful, inshallah.
Just a quick question. I mean, we talk about we have very little time, but there's a couple of questions on. We learn that we read the Quran, we understand the Quran, but how do we translate that to actually action? Because sometimes we just hear things and we don't actually act upon it.
That's good, mashallah. Yeah, it's a very good question. So one of the things that I want to share with you, take for example Surah Al-Inshiqaq. We have فلا أقسم بالشفق والليل وما وسق والقمر إذا اتسق لتركبن طبقا عن طبق. Allah swears by the moon, by this, and says, you will go from one stage to another. How does this apply? I now want to apply this. So Allah reminds us here that nothing will stay the same. كل شيء هالك إلا وجهه. Everything has an end. Everything will change. Maybe today you're strong, tomorrow you are not. Maybe today you have the power to walk, maybe tomorrow you don't. Maybe today I have money, tomorrow maybe I don't. You never know. So, فَمَا لَهُمْ لَا يُؤْمِنُونَ. Then why don't you believe in Allah and bow down to Allah? You see, a reminder. So, وَذَكِّرْ فَإِنَّ الذِّكْرَى تَنْفَعُ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ إِنَّ فِي ذَلِكَ لَذِكْرَى لِمَنْ كَانَ لَهُ قَلْبٌ. It's a reminder. And then I open my heart. And suddenly when I read in the Quran and I get this message, maybe I'll find tears coming to my eyes. Maybe I'll find comfort. Maybe I'll find tranquility. Maybe when I understand, a big smile come to my face. Things like that happen. And that's the beginning. And you leave the rest to Allah. فَأَمَّا مَنْ أَعْطَى وَاتَّقَى وَصَدَّقَ بِالْحُسْنَى فَسَنُيَسِّرُهُ لِلْيُسْرِ. Just take the first step. Leave the rest to Allah. And Allah will throw the light in your heart, the love of the Quran in your heart, and you will feel comfortable. All of this comes by taking the first step. Leave the rest to Allah.
Thank you very much. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that we take great benefit from this and you're able to apply this. If I can ask one of you to just close with us, a few ayat.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ألم نشرح لك صدرك ووضعنا عنك وزرك الذي أنقض ظهرك ورفعنا لك ذكرك فإن مع العسر يسرا إن مع العسر يسرا فإذا فرغت فانصب وإلى ربك فارغب.
سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر.